moved into this place called 10,000 building where we pay almost $20,000 a month to rent. And we didn't do it because we wanted to, I mean, first of all, because we wanted to have safety for our daughter when we're not there, but primarily because we wanted to put ourselves in that environment. Because we did that, we met a guy that's worth $4 billion. Fred, his name is Fred. He started mentoring me and teaching me a lot of things, and I listen. And I consume all that. I ask him questions, I learn, I listen, and forget about the $20,000 or the $50,000 or the millions of dollars that you could spend on self-improvement. All that, you're going to get 100 times back of knowledge, which is going to put you in the position where you're going to make, who knows how much you can make, but it's worth. And knowledge in yourself is the best investment you could ever make, ever.
So what's the difference between being a boss and being a leader? Because you have many employees, but you can be bossy and tell them what to do, but you're going to get limited results. But what's the difference for you?
A boss is just an ego thing. A leader is somebody that knows how to communicate and enroll people, and knows how to create other leaders.
That's a good answer. And I also appreciate very much the fact that you invest in yourself. You too. You read a lot, so you learn a lot. Many people think that just going to school is going to make it, and I don't think that's just the base, the foundation of the house. But I think that most of the knowledge that you can really acquire and really going to be effective in your character, in your development, is out there in the mentors, in the people that write books. And imagine a person that is so wise. I always tell my friends and people, family. Imagine a person that went to school, whatever, Harvard, whatever, and then he became a huge leader. He's multi-billionaire. And then he writes a book. And then you go to the library, or you just, go to Amazon and put it in, and you pay $20, $20 for that $1 billion wisdom. And that's the best investment, ROI that you can do for yourself. So I always emphasize the importance of not, if you want to go to school, awesome, great. But you have to also expand your intellectual capital universe, acquiring more knowledge of the people that already know more than you. That's going to take you to a totally different universe, isn't it?
Sometimes people ask me, like, how many degrees do you have? And I say 8. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, they work for the company. They work for me.
What does the word money mean for you? For both of you?
To me, freedom.
Agreed. Options. Without money, you can't help yourself and you can't help people. When people are like, oh, money's not everything. It's not that important. I'm like, okay, well, you need it for everything. So it's kind of important. It's a little bit like oxygen, right?
It is. I mean, money is the way that society values your value. So, they put a value into your talents, and that's what you get. If you are good, society is going to give you more.
But let me share something with this. Like nothing feels better than our people that work for the company, our partners, them making money. Yeah. We just had a guy from our company recently that just got his own Ferrari. So he just now it's not only us that have a Ferrari. Now we have people that joined the company. We helped them, we mentored them, and now they're driving their own Ferrari and they're creating their own success. And we have people in our office. We have a girl that went from being a receptionist to now being one of the highest earners, making more money than some branch managers. Yeah. Branch managers, like people that have an office for the mortgage guys or for ambiance. She makes more money than them. And she started as a front desk girl a year ago.
That's so amazing.
She could afford a Ferrari.
Yeah. Now, is there a person or figure that you really admire that is not alive today? I mean, I'm not talking a family. I mean, father, mother, whatever. That's, of course, out of the question at this point. But is there someone that you really admire that was inspirational, a real mentor from what you learned, heard, or read about him or her?
For me, it would be Abraham Lincoln and Martin Luther King.
Okay, if they could be, or you would have the chance to be in front of one of them, what question would you ask them? You have one chance, one question.
Well, I would ask Abraham Lincoln about leadership, and I would ask Martin Luther King about courage. The reason why I like Martin Luther King is because of the courage that he had to speak up and be himself. So I relate to him a lot in that way. So I would ask Martin Luther King, probably. That would be my first person. What was your key tip for having that high amount of courage to do something that changed the world?
And for you, Syl?
I don't know. I haven't really ever thought about this, but anybody that I really look up to. I mean, I read everything he reads, and those two people are amazing, but like Rosa Parks, I don't have anybody in particular. I admire anybody that's amazing. I admire them, and I look into their story, and even people that are alive now, because everything's in the process of becoming, right? And even Abraham Lincoln, it's amazing how he became what he became and how he became that. And he says something really interesting. I don't know if you guys have read, what's his book called? That yellow one?
It's called Leadership, something by Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, it's a leadership book by Abraham. We made our whole office read it. We read a book a month with our office, with everybody in our corporate office. He said that what he thinks made him so confident and so strong. He had a stepmother who was amazing to him, and she loved him so much and believed in him so much that gave him like the confidence he needed. It's really weird. I don't know. That book is amazing, by the way. And he says that is a big, big reason why he believes that he's successful, because he was successful in everything that he did, and such a great leader, right? Because he's one of the best leaders. He could make anybody do anything, right? And he used to actually march out with all of his soldiers when he was president, and he wouldn't just be like, you go do it. He would help everybody. He was always available to anybody that needed him. He was very accessible. And everybody frowned upon that because they were like, why? Like, anybody can come and just kill you, right? But he wasn't scared. He didn't care. And he said that, yeah, his stepmother's love made him just like amazing, believe in himself. It gave him an advantage to his brother. I think he had a brother and sister, siblings.
That is so interesting. Now, if I give you a billboard, huge, giant billboard in the middle of the city, the most, the busiest corner in the city, which message could you put on so the people can get inspired? Not including your brand, that's out of the question also. Which message could you put on?
Never be a quitter, because a quitter one time is a quitter for life, and fight for your dreams.
That's direct. What about you, Syl?
I was going to say never quit. Just keep going.
So you're on the same page.
But I would add at the end, just to make it powerful, is anybody can have anything. It's just that most people quit when they're like 1 inch away. And that last inch of pain is what people don't want to go through. And I've been there. And there's been times when I was like, man, is it time to call it a quit? Call it quits? And I just keep fighting through with an extreme amount of pain, and then things work out. And I'm like, whew, let's do it again.
Barely.
So the reason why I do all these messages and inspirational things, and I say bad words, and I say what's on my mind, and I don't care if people criticize me, if haters come out, I don't care. It just gives me even more energy. And the reason why I do that is because I love inspiring and helping people. People tell me in the mornings, I get messages like, hey, I've gotten messages where people tell me I was about to take my life away, and I didn't because of the story that you put in the morning. And that's extreme, but I get a lot of messages, hundreds of people that tell me I needed this message this morning.
What's the worst piece of advice that you heard someone telling to someone else?
To work 4 hours a week, the 4-hour work week. You'll never be successful working 4-hour work weeks. That's bullshit.
You have to really put a lot of time in it.
This is a good one. don't buy apartment buildings because the tenants, you're going to have to fix their toilets and they don't even have investments, which is kind of crazy. And that keeps a lot of people scared. And they're like, oh my God, I never want to fix toilets. And I'll tell you what, the 4 units that I bought, the first one that I bought, it feels so good. And I wasn't even scared at all, but it's because we're in the business. You just go for it. That's it. Like, I didn't worry about the toilets. I'll figure that out later, right? And a lot of people think too much. And that's what stops.
Where does sense of self-confidence comes from? I mean, where do you get it? Because, Albert, you said, no, I am committed to this, and when I'm committed, it's going to happen. Where do you get that from?
I feel I can do anything.
But you just feel? Where do you get that sense of confidence that actually makes it happen? I mean, I can have confidence about whatever, but maybe I'm not going to be able to make it happen. So why you are able to make it happen in your area?
I mean, really, I always remember when I was 6 years old and the promise that I made to my father. And every morning when I wake up, I try to not make noise, to not wake her up, not wake Italia up. And every morning when I wake up, the first thing I do is give them a kiss while they're sleeping, and I leave and I get out of the room to not make noise. And every morning, what helps me, just what energizes me and gets me going in the morning, because every morning I wake up and I'm like, man, another day. Like, I don't feel good. I have a headache.
Not every
or I mean, most of the days I wake up and I'm like, ugh. like, because I'm dehydrated, I need to drink water. So every morning I wake up and I have my whole routine. Like, I drink a lot of water. I don't really drink. I mean, I used to drink a little bit more, but right now I don't really drink alcohol. Like, I don't drink alcohol. I drink a lot of water. I'm healthy, and I work out every morning. So every morning I do exercise. I drink a lot of water. I listen to audio or I read, and that kind of gets me going because I get ideas, and that puts me in the right mindset, and I keep going. But to answer your question, I mean, that helps me, but I just want to fight for my dreams. I want to fight for my max potential. And that's what makes me happy, and I want to be happy. And if I don't keep getting closer to my target, I'm not happy. So I want to be happy. In order to be happy, I have to fight for these high targets that I set myself to. And whenever I feel a little bit down, I remember I can't let my wife down and my daughters. Now that the second one that's coming, and I want to make my parents proud. I want to be an example. I want to be an example to the world. So I'm just really inspired naturally every day. I feel like it's my duty, my obligation to do something massive, something great.
And I have another question, because I was watching your videos in YouTube or social media, and Albert, you talk about how many millions you're making, and you are very open about that, which is great. And however, I was thinking, and I don't know, I feel kind of confident to be able to ask you this. I mean, you don't have to answer it if you don't want. But when I go on the same platforms, I can see many other people, young people, and they always show, and they have a big mansion.
Yeah.
They have big cars, and they say, look how successful I am. You can be as successful as me if you do what I'm doing. That's marketing. So, Albert, why you and why not them? What's the difference? You know what I mean? And I believe you, what you're saying, and I love your story, because you really were able to turn around the table and become something important, and you had a chance to become someone important in some other environment, probably in jail or whatever, So, but now you change your life dramatically, drastically. So why and how can we set the difference between so many guys, all muscles, buff up and all that stuff, talking about cars and, Bentleys and all that stuff? Are they true? Are they honest?
I think there's a lot of people trying to take shortcuts, and a lot of fake people out there. Like right now, there's a lot of people, and everybody right now is an influencer. Everybody out there is a coach.
Right.
Everybody has a high ego, and everybody, but I think that what what most people lack right now is the level of commitment and courage that it takes to become really successful. And those are my strongest points. I'm really committed.